Today we're going to be feeding all the animals here at Shadow's Reptiles. We're going to start with the backyard. We're going to follow this schedule. I'm going to be writing my name down here as well as the time. I updated the schedule yesterday. Today's Wednesday. So I want to make sure that everything is aligned properly in the most efficient way. So I'm going to test it myself to see. Yesterday was Tuesday, which today's a little bit simpler. You're going to have to feed less animals. And my team was taking about 15 minutes to do that. On average, they take 15 minutes to an hour to feed the animals outside. I want to see how low we could get that time. We currently have about 14 or 15 different species of animals that we need to take care of. And let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start the timer, write my name up here. Doesn't matter if it's sloppy. I wrote it on Monday, but we're actually going to do Wednesday again. We're going to start off with the monkeys. So we come here, open these little guys up. They're always hungry in the mornings. And here's Mrs. Brick. Her food is kept over here as well, so she knows to come over here when she's hungry. We just fill this up for them. And we put some for Chewy and Misa down here as well. Brick. There we go. And we always clean the enclosures for the monkeys usually on Fridays. Right now it's not too bad. If there's anything urgent, emergency that needs to be cleaned, like for example, the other day they pulled out like a little plastic piece of paper and they shredded it up and I had to get in there and clean even though it wasn't Friday. The other thing that we need to clean on Fridays is their hide box, which currently they're not using because it's the summer. I just closed it for them yesterday. But as you can see, that's what it looks like with about half a week of them being in there. So they throw all their food down there. Obviously they poop there and we change their little hammock once a week. I blocked that off yesterday as well as put them a new hammock. They would be a lot cleaner for the summer. And this is just when it's the winter. If they get cold, we open this up and heat it up so that they stay warm. The marmoset monkeys also have a connection on the outside of their box, which needs to be cleaned every now and then as well. Although they're a lot cleaner than the squirrel monkeys. Next thing you want to check is their water. So whenever it's less than 25%, which is a little bit more than that, we want to fill this up. Just like that. You guys have their waters filled up. This is the rabbit food. That's Mrs. Brick. We need to feed her. Come on, Mrs. Brick. Stop eating monkey food. She always wants to eat these pellets. Oh, she actually has a little bit of food from yesterday. So we'll actually toss that because it rained. I want to clean this. It looks like a bird poop there. So we'll leave this for now and we'll take care of her in a bit. Always want to make sure we leave this locked, even if we're going to be out here. We're not done with the monkeys yet. We need to make sure that Chewy and Misa have their water. This gets filled up every day because this is about as much as they drink every day. So we want to make sure that they never run out. So if they drink half a day, that means if you leave it for 2 days, they won't have water come tomorrow morning. It's also about time to upgrade this because I would prefer that it lasts a couple of days, not just one. And there we go. Monkeys are done. So that took 3 minutes and 30 seconds for the monkeys, and I want to make a note of that after I mark off how much they ate. Or not how much they ate, sorry, that they ate and got their food. We'll just put 3:30 here, minutes. Now we'll move on to the groundhog, Leone. This cage is broken and a pain, but we're currently upgrading her. So in the next week or so, she should be getting a new cage as well as Harry the armadillo. This is her water bowl. We'll fill this up right here. There, and then we have some pellets for her right here. So her favorite snacks are carrots. We like to give her carrots every now and then, so a couple times a week. And the other thing we like to give her is these greens. Just drop that in there, a little extra enrichment for her, and she'll probably get up and start eating soon, but she's knocked out of that there right now. They're kind of heavy sleepers, but there's no point in waking her up. She'll come out and eat soon. There we go. The hardest part is the door. So it's 5:15, so that took about 1:45 for her. Let's go ahead and mark her down. So she eats greens, and we'll just put 1.5 minutes just to keep it simple. She got her greens, her water, and again, spot clean every time. She's super clean. We never really have to clean her. And now when she gets this new enclosure, it should be a lot easier to get in here and clean if it is needed. But as you can see, she pulls all her mulch into her box there. All right, next on the list are the turtles. So let's go ahead and take care of them. So I always like to move the plants out of the way to give them easier access to the food. Just throw these back. And honestly, when there's too many, you could just throw them away. The turtle food is kept right here in this little jar, which needs to get refilled inside very soon. We'll just sprinkle some right here. I like to count the turtles out whenever I can. So right here, I see 4 spotted turtles. And if we look through the back, sometimes we'll see the little red-eared slider sticking her head out, or the Indian spotted sticking his head out. With the turtles, I check them once a week. They're usually very safe in here. Never had any problems. But with the other animals like the monkeys, we check them 3 times a day, sometimes even more. And I mean 3 official checks, but I myself come out here and I check them again at night multiple times. In reality, we check them probably like 6-8 times a day. So next, took care of these turtles. I counted 4 of them here. Obviously they all ate, but I like to mark them when I see them, so we'll wait a little bit to see if we see them. Then we're gonna come to the back over here. This is where we have the Amazon spotted turtle. We just took him in. He's a rescue, so he's being quarantined. Make sure he's healthy. Let's put a little sprinkle in there for him. Close that up. And his water's a little bit low, so we're probably gonna bring that up to a little bit under that log right there. Do that just by putting that there, turning this on just like that. Can't forget about that. Now I put this back over here, and you can take another peek because maybe we'll see more of the turtles. Although we're gonna have to throw away more of these plants. You can see one eating right there. There's about 5 spotted turtles showing themselves right now. I have 1 more that we can't see right now, then the red-eared slider and the Indian spotted turtle. Although I saw the Indian spotted and the red-eared slider yesterday, so I'm not worried. And throughout the day, we probably will see them. So the Amazon spotted turtle is good. These guys are good. I did see 1 more of the spotted turtles. Next, we're gonna see the tortoises, caiman lizard. I'm gonna see Harry, the foxes, and the sugar glider. Go ahead and turn the water off. There you go. Filled up a bit more. And we also need to take care of the rabbits' water. We want to make sure there's no mosquitoes or dirt or debris in here. It's a pretty big can for a little bunny. Well, she's not too little, but you could definitely get her a smaller bowl.
What type of bunny is she?
A Flemish giant rabbit.
So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. A giant bowl for a giant rabbit. Alright, there we go. It's all good like that. That means it's about 4 minutes with the turtles. So this is Harry, the armadillo. His water situation isn't the best right now because his bottle broke there. So we just fill this up, but he dirties this every couple of hours. But again, Harry's gonna be getting a new enclosure. He'll be fine in a week. We won't have to waste so much time refilling this over and over. Before I put this here, we do want to check him. Make sure he's all right. He's asleep. He's probably been running around all day. Might be some of his, no, never mind. I was gonna say some of his favorite snacks. How did he get this in here?
I put that outside, so I have no idea.
He's knocked out too, these guys.
Went for an all-night bender.
Yeah, well, we don't want to bother him. I do want to fix this here, but just a bit. Doing good. All curled up, sleeping. Put his water right here. We'll get his food right here. Let's go. So this is his pellets. These are some insect eater pellets. I'll put that in here like this. Just a bit for him to eat for the day. Now let's go in here. Close that behind you. I didn't track the time for Harry, but that's fine. Count all of these together. Alright, so it rained last night, so it's a little bit messy in here. There's a lot of wet poop, and their food bowl is full of water. So you could come in here, just watch your stuff. Their water is clean and everything. I'm just gonna flush it out just a little bit. It's already pretty good though. As you can see, their food bowl is full of water. Because of that crack in the roof, the water pours right through. This is all going to be fixed as well. In the next couple of weeks, they're going to be expanded into this back area. I want them to have a lot more space. So we're going to take all this out. They're going to have double the enclosure space, and we're going to fix their feeding situation. Here, we're going to always close this door because we have some hungry predators there, and we have some little prey right here. So what I do is, sugar glider bowls, we want to make sure we take out all their dry pellets and poop if they have any in there. And right now, this is not too bad, as you can see. It was cleaned yesterday. We usually have to clean this about once a week, maybe twice, depending on how wet it gets throughout the day. And here we have the food for both of these guys. So we'll get a scoop. And a scoop of this is going to be enough for this entire group here. And as you can see, they're already jumping around, trying to get the water, or the food. Let's see. And then this one is a pair. They currently have a baby, so they're going to have less food. That one's a group of 6. And they have a couple of babies as well, but this one we usually fill about halfway. And then you can go ahead and close this so they don't jump out at you. You check their waters, make sure it's good. This guy has it right over here. I know it's probably hard for you to see, but the water's right here. And these are right here. So they were just filled up yesterday. They're good to go. You don't have to fill these up for another 2-3 days probably. Next, we got to take care of the foxes. There's a lot of poop and a lot of pellets. We'll go ahead and start with the pellets. So bowl's all clean. The bowl's all clean. I'm gonna put that in here. Get them a scoop. Usually I throw in a full scoop, but since today it's a little bit wet, we're gonna do about half a scoop. So that they have just for the morning, they could eat this, and then later in the day I'll come and give them another half. And then gotta grab the pooper scooper. Everything back there is good. And we'll start with these fresh poops right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab all of them. It's a very fun job that we have here. Here, watch out.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah. And some of these poops camouflage really good, so I get in there good. So yeah, as you can see, this cage needs a lot of upgrading, this entire area. So we're gonna add a trash can. We're gonna make the bowls a lot more weatherproof. Their entire area is probably gonna get redone. I also want to try giving them a litter box because I noticed they keep pooping in the same spot. So I think if we collect all their poop and put it into a litter box, they will eventually just start pooping in there. And that would be way better than doing this all the time. Not only that, but then we don't have to change their mulch every week, because currently we need to change their mulch every single week. So you can see how it looks right now. This was done last Friday. Today's Wednesday. It rained and they've pooped a bit, but it's still pretty bad. I mean, it's not too bad. It's just a little dark, but I like it when it's nice and bright. The armadillo is just on another level. But he's different because he comes in here and he mixes it around. The trash can's right over here, so you could just come and dump this right in here. For now. Eventually we're going to put this inside of the enclosure. You're going to want to come in here and wash this off. So this, we always keep somewhere shaded so it doesn't go bad. Right now it's the morning and we're going to have to get back in here at noon to check the animals, so we'll put it here, and this is not going to get sun until later. And later around noon it could be taken back inside. That's why ideally we have the trash can in there so that it stays in the shade the entire time. So it's been 10 minutes exactly since we did that. So let's go ahead and mark this whole area 10 minutes. And we took care of the armadillo, the red foxes, and the sugar gliders. And again, when I say take care of, I mean we fed them, we checked their waters, and we cleaned their entire enclosure. Not a deep clean, just a spot clean, because the deep cleans we do on Friday, unless it's an emergency. So we're 20 minutes in so far. We need to go feed the tortoises. We need to feed the caiman lizard and the rabbit, and we are done. You see, that's why I like the schedule, because for example, with the rabbit, maybe at this point I would get confused and think, oh, I already took care of her. Well, we still need to go back and feed her. Let's go and get her a new bowl. So here we always change our shoes because we don't want to walk into the animal room with shoes that we just walked in fox poop enclosure in, okay? Again, with the new cages, hopefully this is all going to be prevented much simpler. That's the goal. The goal is with these new cages, we're gonna cut it down. It looks like I'm about to take probably like 30 to 40 minutes feeding the animals. Hopefully we could cut that down by at least half. So since the birds pooped in it, we're going to use first the gray brush, which is the poop scooping brush. Obviously that might change, but for now it's this. And let's see. So there's gonna be a light pass to take off all that dirt and the poop. And then we're gonna add a little bit more soap. And we're gonna hit it with the clean brush. This is the food bowl brush. And it's gonna make sure that it's extra clean for the little ones. Here we got all the cherry heads and the box turtles and my elongated. We'll just sprinkle their food like this and they'll all come over here and start eating. And like I mentioned, look at all this poop all over the place. Not only does the bunny poop here, but the birds are pooping like crazy in this one square. I don't know, maybe they were eating the bunny poop. Hopefully not. But I think that they're probably eating the seed from these birds. So let's try keeping it over here instead. And if they start covering it in poop, then we'll find another solution. But for now, this is good. And I had this by the monkeys, but we could keep this over here. I like keeping all these plastics somewhere that's shaded. That way it doesn't get sun, the food doesn't get hot, and the plastic doesn't crack. Here, Mrs. Brick, your food's right over here. Come here. Here you go, Mama. Come here. Either way, this whole backyard is food for her, technically. Right? Right, Chewy, Nisa. Nisa. Chewy. Little baby monkeys. Alright, so it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. We took care of the tortoises and the rabbit. Rabbit is good. Let's go ahead and make sure we visually check each of the animals. That's another important thing. I want to count out each animal. Again, with certain ones, we do it weekly. Others, we do it daily. Some we do every check. So in this case, the elongated is good and eating right here. I guess Mrs. Brick prefers Missouri tortoise diet than her pellets. We got the box turtles right there. We have the cherry heads. I see 3. There's another one, and there's the Colombian redfoot. So we got all of these guys in here. We got a good shot. Let's see. So we visually count each one. They all have different ones, so they're different individuals. We have the male cherry head, the other male. So this is one male. The other male is back there getting some sun. This is one female, and the female number 2 is in there. So they're all individual animals that we keep track of, and we want to visually check each one, make sure that they're healthy, they're eating, moving around, acting like normal. Right now it's just the feeding and visual check. At noon is when we really get in there. We check all the animals, we make sure they're all healthy. We give them enrichment. For example, the monkeys in the mornings, they get their pellets, but later on they're gonna be getting treats like carrots or raisins or a bunch of other stuff. And here's the last one that I was looking for. That's the Gulf Coast box turtle. And he is doing good. Go ahead and mark him off. Again, just a visual check. We don't need to wake them up right now and touch them. They're gonna wake up naturally, and we'll make sure their behavior is normal later on. All right, now we'll just do a final look through everything. The only one left unchecked was the Cayman lizard, and it has been so far 28 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's visually check these two. This guy slept outside for the first time today. He's doing good, sleeping in there. Again, no point in waking him up. There isn't even sunlight right now, but the Cayman lizard's running around, hanging out in his food bowl, ready to eat. All right, Mrs. Brick, let's not get in there. Come on. She's been watching the entire show today. So his food is defrosting, so we're gonna move his feeding from now until later at 12 p.m. That concludes the feeding for the outside animals. We're gonna leave this blank. If we did not feed them, we leave it blank because somebody else is gonna come check this later. And if we mark it fed, that means that they're not gonna know that he didn't eat. There you go, 29 minutes and 22 seconds. And now I'll come up here and I'll write this 29, 22. That way we know how much time it took. Everyone was fed. Everything was organized and things were thrown out if they needed to be. We visually checked everybody. We checked everybody's water and we spot cleaned. We want to do all these things every single check. Here is the indoor schedule now. I'm going to do the same thing. Write your name. And we're going to start the timer. We're going to need a lot of greens today for the bearded dragons and the Ural mastics. So it's actually not a ton. Let's go get a couple pads of cactus. These should be enough for everybody. I just like the way that the animals eat the strips better, because they're thinner and it's easier for them. Less of a choking hazard usually, but I've never really had a problem with the tubes either. This cactus is really soft, even with the baby tortoises and baby dragons. Alright, so it takes about 3 minutes to cut the greens. So we put greens, 3 minutes. Not just to cut them, but to collect them and to cut them up. So again, this is about as much as we want for everybody. Let's start over. Let's start out with all the bearded dragons. At the top, we get this guy's bowl. Dump out any sand. Whew. That was calcium powder. Just got a little more woken up by that right there. Little pinch like that. We're a little too little, to be honest. We put a little bit more. For Hercules especially. This is the guy up here. He likes to eat. And he's becoming a father again. So we want to make sure he's well nourished. And here is Sandy. We're going to go ahead and give her her food. She's going to be having babies in the next couple of weeks. By babies, of course, I mean laying eggs. That should be good for her. Again, she's gonna have babies, so that's a nice fat amount for her so that she can get nice and fed up. And with the animals on here, we don't have water for them because they're all from the desert and they get a lot of hydration from this type of food. So what we do with them is we soak them every Monday instead. Again, today's Wednesday, we're not gonna soak them today, but we soak them. Oh, these are acumonitors. They don't eat today, I believe, and they definitely don't eat cactus. These guys like to eat insects. I'm gonna go to the rest of the dragons. This is the red monster rack. I'm gonna be careful here. I don't lose a finger. Put that there. This is a smaller girl, so we got her a little smaller amount. Put it right there. And these guys might not go too crazy for it right away. Well, she is actually, but what are these two eating? Oh, yeah, everybody's eating already. Their lights haven't turned on yet, not the heat lights at least. Oh no, they have. This one, we need to change her heat light. So we'll make note of that so that it could be changed. These guys are all good. So it's been 3 minutes, or more like 2.5 minutes for these. Go ahead and mark these off. Little mastics. Now we did a visual check. They were pretty clean. I'm gonna go back and double check the spot clean just to be sure. And then we need to feed the other row mastics and the bearded dragon, and we're done with the cactus. So just in case we need the spot clean, let's grab the trash can. Look, big boy's eating. Smoking his cactus. Alright. Everything looks really clean. No poops or sheds. So all that they have is the sand is starting to get a little bit dirty with little things. So that means we're probably gonna have to get in here and do a full sand replacement soon. But it's been about over 6 months and we haven't replaced the sand. So that's a really good sign. We'll probably have to do that soon just to keep it looking a little bit prettier. Let's go outside now. There's got little mastics right here. I'll feed him a little bit of this as well. We're gonna check on him, make sure he's all right. This one's Odin. There he is, sleeping. What's up, buddy? So I put him back. No need to take him out now. His water is good. Active monitors, they don't need to. This here is a bearded dragon that we are rehoming. So we're gonna blow out all that powder. Get them a few greens right there. So yeah, if you guys are watching and you want a bearded dragon, make sure you head over to shadowsreptiles.com. We might have him available and a few others. Alright. So let's see. These guys aren't supposed to eat today. These are the blue-tongued skinks. I'm gonna give her a little pinch just as a treat. And these are by far one of the messiest lizards that we have. Their enclosure right now isn't really too bad. We can't spot clean or anything because, again, it's kind of like with the bearded dragons, it's already flattened in there and kind of spread out. So it's impossible to spot clean. It's better to just dump all the mulch and replace it. But we'll go ahead and do that later, not right now with this clean. So right now it's either spot clean or emergency deep cleaning. We don't do the deep cleans unless it's on schedule. Unless it's very extremely dirty that we have to get in there and do it. But like a little bit of shed like Sydney had there, it's not a big deal. This guy seems like he's maintained pretty clean. Their water's clean, has a little bit of mulch, but the mulch is not a big deal. We can just take that out. It doesn't mean we have to completely change it. Everybody's good. Let me check the Ackies. They don't eat today, but we still want to get in here and make sure they're all in their enclosure, they're all healthy. So there's 1, 2, and the third one is asleep under the bowl. So there you go, reacting good. Go ahead and cover this up. And the bearded dragon was good. Now we'll go to the other side. Make sure that the snakes are good. So this guy's water's a bit low. We're gonna go ahead and give it to her. For the water, it's very simple for them. Oh, I think this was left on. It's all right here. There we go. We don't want to fill it all the way because then it spills in there. This guy's good. This is snow. Flatten the little poop there. This could be spot clean. We'll probably go ahead and do that later. Because for that one, I can't just do it with my hands. It's not as simple as the other animals we did earlier. Here, let's see. I'm gonna throw out a dead worm. These worms died in here. This we definitely just throw in the garbage over there. And this girl, we want to check her. She's probably in the back there. Let me see. Oh no, she's not. Maybe water then. There she is. She's sleeping. Or she was sleeping. We woke her up. Bring around. Alright, she's looking lively, that's good. Snow, we didn't visually check her. We checked her enclosure. Let's look in there. She's doing good. She's gonna be going to an animal show with me in a couple hours, so for sure she's good. Albino ball pythons are looking good. This guy's missing a water. That's because we fed them the other day and they were together, but we're gonna start keeping them separate. So let's make sure we get her a water. So this extra cactus, what I like to do is, for example, like what I do with Sydney, we give it off to the other animals that don't eat, or we could give it to the tortoises or maybe the bugs, whoever else wants it, or that it could be like enrichment to them. Cactus is usually a good food. It's not like overfeeding pellets. It's not gonna be something that fattens them up too much. But of course you wanna keep the animal's diet in mind. Some animals you can feed more greens to, some you shouldn't. So that depends on the animal. And if you don't know too much about what you're doing, I just recommend you stick to the schedule and don't play around with it until you're very knowledgeable on the animals and their diets. These are all the baby tortoises. They're all looking great. We're gonna get into them very soon. If you're done with this, you always come here, wash it off, because if it dries up, it's gonna be harder to clean. So you can see there's some here. That's from the last time that it was used. Whoever used it didn't clean it, so it got stuck there. So what we do here is we're gonna wash it off, and we're gonna need a little bit of soap today since it was left dirty last time. But usually when you wash it off, you could go a few uses without cleaning depending on what food you cut up in here. And then we put this back. We never want to leave things out of place. I'm gonna have to clean all this as well. So it's been 13 minutes and 40 seconds so far. These guys took me 3 minutes. And this took 3 minutes. That means that the outside area took me, now I gotta do math, hold on. 6 plus 6, it took me 6 minutes more or less. I wanna make note that I did this before the babies, because maybe we could change the order of the schedule for these guys to go up here. So those are the types of notes I like to make on top of if an animal needs to be upgraded. I've mentioned some upgrades that I'm not writing down earlier, like the cages and stuff, because we're already in the middle of upgrading them, so there's no need to write it down. It's already known. Croc Skink had food in there, so she is good. And now we just need to take care of the rats and the feeders, and we are done. Other than the meat, which is going to be done later because right now it's frozen right here. So let's see how long the rats take. These are also being upgraded to that rack right there very soon. But for now, they are in here. I'm going to go ahead and take this bowl out because we're not going to use this for them. We're going to stick with this one. Put this up for them. What is this guy squaring up with me, dude? This is some dog food. So these are African soft furs, and they require a more high protein diet.
Awesome, I love protein.
So they need to eat dog food that has 20% protein or more. And they already had a few rat pellets in there, but we'll go ahead and throw in a couple more just so that they have extra. And these guys are good to go. They don't need to really be spot clean. We change the substrate once a week, and that's enough. They don't smell. If it ends up smelling bad, then you go ahead and change it, but it smells good, so we can just cover this up. That's already a little dirty. There. Oh, you saw that? She attacked me.
Mm-hmm. I got that on video.
Good. Oh, almost forgot their food. They got their little wheels, so we even take good care of our feeders here, and we're planning on taking a lot better care with them. I want to give them a better cage and better toys. For now, they're gonna go inside of this. So they'll have the substrate here. I'm gonna make a different one with a little bit more of a design where we could put their food on the top, just pour it in, and they'll have the water on top, and it flows into each bin one by one, so that it's all automated for the most part. So these for sure need the protein a lot more, and if they don't get enough protein, they'll eat their babies. So we're probably gonna have to give them more water. I've noticed since the summer started, they're starting to drink a ton more water. Look at that, they're all fighting for it. I mean, there's a lot more in here now too, but we're gonna give them some more water later when they're done there. I refilled it last night before I went to sleep, and right now it's the morning, so right now it's probably around 9 in the morning. I was doing the other animals first. Now I feel bad that I didn't come and do them first. But let's see, that should be good. I got a little bit of alcohol since I was messing with the rats, and it's 19, so the rats took 4 minutes. Go ahead and mark them. They're all doing good. So there are some snakes and some bullfrogs that we need to visually check. Again, not every animal eats today. We follow this color-coded feeding schedule, which we'll break down for you in the beginning of this video. We spot clean and we visually check the animals every single morning. So these are the ones that aren't eating, but we want to visually check. We might not need to even open the enclosures. We just want to make sure that they're okay. So these guys are all acting normal. For these, we're gonna have to open up because they are not visually out. So let's see. And these are all holding enclosures as well. We're working on upgrading them. There's our little hog nose. He's doing good. Water's clean. And here we have little Mexican black king snake. He is growing super fast. He's like 3 or 4 times the size of when I got him already. He does need some water. This is something that we also want to try and work on keeping full all the time. Alright. Some water. So you don't want to like shoot them with it. You want to put it on a mist mode like that. You see? Yeah, we spray these guys in here. Want to do this every single day. They're tropical. This one's a little bit further back, so we're gonna kind of shoot them. All right, last ones to visually check. We're right here. This big boy that needs an upgrade soon. He went from being the size of a quarter to being the size. My phone died, so we're gonna have to redo this part. But we visually check all the animals, even the ones we don't feed, like the frog. There's Queen, my female African bullfrog. She's awake, chilling, alert when I pulled her out, making sure that she's good. She has clean water. I already saw King earlier. We'll double check him. His water's a little bit dirtier, so we'll probably want to change that out. There he is, doing good. So we're gonna change out his water. We're gonna take him to a show today, so we're probably just gonna take out the water bowl and take him to the show like this, and then we'll clean his water on the way back. And of course, we got little baby Ruru. What's up, Ruru? Ruru's the little baby wallaby. She's hanging out. We already fed her. Her and Cleo, our baby fennec fox, which is already getting big enough to go outside as well. Hi, Cleo. What's up, baby girl? You're so beautiful. Both of these little babies get fed first thing in the morning. We don't keep them waiting. So, oh, whoa, whoa, don't eat me. Don't eat me, you hungry animal. My goodness. But yeah, these little guys are doing good. Let's get back to work now. So right now we are at 25 minutes, 17 seconds. We're gonna start preparing the food for the baby tortoises. Go ahead and put a scoop of Missouri in here. We have a lot of babies, but we don't wanna overfeed them. That should be more than enough. Now we'll add the water so that this softens up. And I'm gonna go through my schedule one more time as this goes softening up. Okay, so I just checked everybody. I was just doing a mental check, making sure I remember feeding them, cleaning them, and giving them water. And I realized that I'm probably gonna want to add a way for other people to keep track of that, because just mentally doing it is not the best way to make sure that it gets done properly. So all of these little checks, I need to find a way to incorporate into the schedule without making this a huge packet of care, which is what we used to have. So I'm trying to fit it all into different papers per location. So one for the garage, one for outside, one for my grandpa's house, and so on. We gotta feed the tortoises, baby dragons, and the feeders. Now we gotta feed the superworm beetles. I like to keep the food towards the front so that we could see these guys. So we put their egg crates towards the back, food in the front, that way it's easy to clean. Same thing for the roaches. We want these further back, and check all these guys out. And we'll give them that right there. Them a little bit more. And on this whole section, these are our isopods. They get checked on Mondays. They don't need anything today. And these are our mealworm beetles, so they'll get some care. As a matter of fact, why don't we put these guys down here next to the superworms? I think that makes a lot of sense right there. And these guys are all checked. Now we got our roaches here. Got one in there, a little piece in here, and then we have our breeder discoid roaches. Let's check on them really quickly. Seems like we might have a potential dead one right here. We're gonna have to clean all this stuff up later on. Get this guy out. And that's what I call a spot clean. We're not gonna get in here very deep. We'll throw in some carrots. And usually what we do with these guys is we'll give them some leftovers later. So if we have extra Missouri, we give them a little bit. And if we have extra like greens or anything, they'll eat it as well. Of course, we never get the food out of the animals' bowls. So what the animals leave over, we do not feed to the feeders because that's gonna contaminate the feeders. So what we do is we leave the leftovers from this pot, not the leftovers that the animals leave, to clarify. So let's make sure we took care of the feeders. We took care of the superworms, mealworms, discoid roaches, baby discoid roaches, the big roaches, and the isopods. Again, they don't eat today, but they're doing good in there. All we need now are the baby dragons and the water monitor. Which the water monitor and the caiman lizard's food is already defrosted, so that's perfect. And that took us, for the feeders, it looks like 3 minutes. Now let's feed baby dragons, get them out the way really quick. These guys should be pretty simple. So these are snakes here, they have water, they've been visually checked already. This is our hog noses, just for the video so you can see them. That's Sanji right there. Doing very good. And this one is backwards. Or are they all backwards?
No, just that one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to adjust that corner. It looks like it's too tight.
Yeah.
So all these racks are homemade, by the way. We're gonna fix them up. Well, here you go. These are all for the bearded dragons, and it's designed in a way that we could easily take them outside. So now what we do is we'll come in here, and we should probably get rid of some of these. That way the roaches have less of them to hide in. There you go, that's what we're looking for right there. And we go whoop, 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 whoop. There we go, on clean. There we go. A few of them got out into the enclosure, and that's okay. Now before we close this, we want to make sure that the little one's still in there. He's in the back hiding, peeking his head over. You can see him right there, so we'll close this now. Just like that. Keep it flush. Next. There we go, that's a nice load right there. We're gonna want about 10 of these per baby. 10 to 15 is a good amount. And we could keep track of how many are in here. So there's 2 dragons here, one in the other one. This one has a lot more roaches for that reason. And again, we're gonna open this up, count both of them, which they're in the back. I visually check them, and that's it. Nothing too crazy. They have their water, they have their food. That's all we're checking right now. And to make sure they're clean. But to be honest, baby dragons are not messy. So we'll get a little pinch here. A little pinch here. And now after we do this, we take them outside so that they could warm up and they could get hungry and start coming to the food. Because right now they've been inside, still early in the morning. We're not too awake yet. How many's in this one? Just one. So this one gets a little bit less. Again, all have water, they're all clean. That's one rack done. Now we focus. Check how many babies there are. There's one here. This is food. Let's see. More food. There we go. This guy's hungry. Beautiful. Let's put him back right there. And now this rack is nice. This is the original design. And the reason why this one's nice is because it has a stopper in the back. So all you have to do is push it all the way to the end, and it's flush and safe for them. They can't get out of that. So we're gonna have to add the stoppers to the other ones. the powder in there so the roaches mix themselves in the powder, so it's nice and coated with some calcium. Perfect. There you go. And that's all the dragons fed. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11 bearded dragon babies. All taken care of. And now once I'm done feeding them, I always like to feed them inside just in case one escapes. It's easier to catch them. So once they're done, we open this up. And there we go. And now we double check everything. That's one of our core principles here at Shadows Reptiles. We're gonna double check that none of the enclosures are open. Everything is secure where it's supposed to be. All the dragons are good, eating. They have their water. Double check, everything's good. They have the roof. These guys are not gonna get cooked even at noon when it's super hot outside. They're all gonna be protected. Now that everything is safe, we could go back inside. And we could bring this in already because I gave that snake the water earlier. So we're gonna need it for the next animals right now. Baby dragons are done. They took about 7 minutes. And now it's time for the baby tortoises. By the way, for future reference, when you guys are keeping track of the time here, you're probably gonna wanna do it the minute that you started. So for example, right now, it's been 39 minutes since we started feeding the animals. You could put 39, you start feeding the bearded dragons, and you finish at 42, for example. Because I've been doing it all mentally, keeping track of the times and stuff, and it's a lot harder to do that. So you don't waste brain power, just do it like that. What time is it? Because we need to go to a show now. 10:30. Okay, we got 30 minutes to set up the animals. We just need to feed the baby tortoises and then the meat eaters. So let's feed the tortoises, spray them down so they're good to go, and then we'll start packing the animals for the show. We got the little redfoots eating already. I love to see them coming out alert before I even wake them up. And what I mean by that is their morning routine, usually after they eat, is when we spray them down so they all know it's time to eat. These guys woke up without us having to spray them down yet. So this one only has about 4 babies and a juvenile, so we'll go ahead and cover that up, or juvenile being the albino. So we'll do a little pinch. And notice I don't give these guys a ton of pellets. Sometimes we end up giving them a little too much. We want to try and have as little waste as possible at the end of the day, because if not, it's going to get moldy, it's going to be flies all over it, and this, always pick it up by the end of the day. So you take it out and you clean it up. The only thing that could stay for it is if it's just a little bit of dry greens, but ideally we always clean it, keep the enclosures clean. And then right here, give them a little bit right there. And that should be enough for all the babies. If we notice that they eat all of it before the next check, which is at noon, we end up giving them a little bit more food. And it might not be this again, it might be greens or something. We just give a little bit extra so they have food constantly available. Kind of worked. Now we just gotta microwave this. This is what I was saying we give to the roaches as leftovers because they love this. All the animals like the Missouri tortoise diet. Look, there's a few on here, on the carrots, but when you put this, they're gonna be all over it. And I almost forgot a very important one. We need to add them to the list. These guys, almost forgot to feed them. We'll go ahead and put this here. So this is why I like to do these lists, because sometimes things go unnoticed. And it's always important to check them, make sure everything's updated. These guys were not on our feeding list. We need to add them so that they never get forgotten again. Now, same thing, you want to wash this off now. You don't want to let this get dirty and dried up. Doesn't need to be deep cleaned. We just cleaned this. We deep clean it once a week, and then we wash it off every time to maintain it clean. If you want to go a little bit extra, you put a little bit of alcohol and wipe it down like this, and it's ready for the next use. All of the feeding supplies are here in this area, and you have to keep them cleaned at all times. After you use it, you want to clean it, just like I cleaned all this. I took out as much as I could. Obviously, you know, there's a little bit of the grass. It doesn't come out perfect all the time, but you need to use your common sense to realize what makes the most sense. Dry grass is not bad for animals. Rotten Missouri is. So you kind of have to think about certain things a little bit. You don't want to waste 2 hours cleaning the grass either, because it's not a big deal. And as you can see, like I said, just 1 minute later, they're all gathered around it. So let's go ahead and cover them up so they feel more comfortable and they start eating it. Now, since we forgot one of them, we want to make a note here. That's what this section is for. Add discoid breeders. Those are technically not breeders, but it already says discoid roaches here. So if we just add the breeders, that's good to go right there. Just need to heat this up for the water monitor and the caiman lizard. Now we're going to feed the water monitor. For certain animals, we want to make sure we close the garage door because they might run out. And this is one of those animals. Also need to take these little ones out. So he doesn't have a plate right now. Let's grab one. This is some ground turkey and carrots. The water monitor doesn't eat carrots, so we can just toss it. And we'll just put him in here. We gotta change his water as well real quick. I like to put it a little bit warm, not hot, but not cold. And for his water, we fill it up halfway in this big container. We don't want him to overflow it and make a huge mess in his enclosure. And there we go. He's back there, fed, looking good. And that concludes the animals inside the garage. Now we'll just take this rack out, but we'll stop the timer. We can say 15 minutes, 15 seconds. So we'll write it in here. And the reason we keep track of the time is so that we could always improve and so that we can know what is taking up time throughout the day so that we can make it better or find whatever problems we have simpler. So water monitor is good. That concludes everybody. And this is for Cleo and the caiman lizard. Here you go, baby Cleo. A little turkey for her. Now let's go take care of the last animals outside and we're done. We'll give her a big carrot right there. Just drop that in there. And this other one is gonna be for Mrs. Brick. We'll just throw it there and she'll find it. Now this big boy needs his food too. There we go. Put that right there for him. And everybody's fed. You could add another like 3 minutes to the total time for that, and let's go. Hey, how you doing? Who's that?
Just received the box from UPS.
What my employee ordered yesterday. Big black rubber gloves. What happened? Why are you laughing?
I just thought of something funny.
So it took about 30 minutes outside, 50 minutes inside, so an hour 20 in total. And I think honestly the biggest problem is the whole fox, armadillo, sugar glider area. And that's what we'll be focusing on improving next week.